Before you can start to make price discount agreement journals, you'll need to set up a price discount agreement journal name. This can be done from sales and marketing or procurement and sourcing. I'm here in sales and marketing, so I'll demonstrate it from this folder. Underneath setup and then in price discount, we'll open up the trade agreement journal names. You can see that I've got several different ones created. I'm going to create a new one that's specific for sales prices and one that's specific for purchase prices. So I'll call this one Sales and give it a description of sales prices. Then on the right-hand side, I'll select that the default relation will be the price sales. This indicates that by default, a trade agreement created for sales prices will be including sales prices. I'll create a second one for purchase prices by typing in a name and a description. You can see that the relation is defaulted to purchase prices. So now that I've created some trade agreement journal names, we'll go ahead and create a new trade agreement journal. Again, you can complete this from many different modules in AX. Anywhere you see the price discount agreement journals, I'm in the sales and marketing module, but you can also do this from procurement and sourcing or the inventory management module. To create the new journal, we'll open the journals form, and because there are no journals, the first line has been created for me automatically. If required, you may need to click the new icon to create the new journal. I'll select the journal name. For this example, I'll create some sales prices, and then click the Lines button. In the journal lines form, we can start to add all of the different prices. The price relation has already been defaulted for me, so I do not need to change or update this value. Next, I need to select the account code. Here I can select which customers the sales price will apply to: a table, a group, or all customers. For this example, I'll do a group. Then, in the account selection field, I'll select which group of customers. I'll choose retail accounts for this particular example. Next, I need to choose the item code. You'll notice that this defaults to table. Although the drop-down box displays group and all, it is not possible to create a sales price for a group or all items. Next, in the item relation field, I need to select the specific item number that I want to create the price for. I'll select the baby t-shirt that we created. Next, I can apply the configuration, size, color, and style for the particular item. In this case, the item does not have these inventory dimensions, so they are left blank. You can optionally specify a site and warehouse. If the site and warehouse are left blank, then the price that you enter will apply for all sites. This is useful, for example, if you want to have one price for a particular site and another price for a different site. Next, we need to enter the quantities. So how many pieces of this particular shirt will the price apply to? You can use these fields to create a quantity break as well. For my example, we will just say for 1. In the amount in currency field, we'll type in the amount that this t-shirt will cost. I'll enter $19.99 as the sales price for this particular item. In the currency field, you'll specify which currency this price is expressed in. If the same shirt has a different price in a different currency, you would need to create a second line by clicking Ctrl-N on your keyboard or File New, or clicking the down arrow, entering all the same information, and then typing a different amount in currency and selecting the other currency amount. On the lower portion of the screen, you'll notice some additional fields. Here, we can enter the from date and to date. This is useful if the price that you are specifying in the amount in currency field is only effective between certain dates. So let's say the $19.99 price is a special that we are running next month. I could specify that this price will start on the first of the month and end on the last of the month. I could then create another price for the other date ranges when this price will apply. The price charges field allows you to add charges, fixed price charges, to the order. By typing in an amount here, an additional amount will be added to the $19.99 amount in currency based on the price unit. You can also override the lead time. If you override the lead time, it's important to remember to clear the disregard lead time checkbox. You'll also notice the Find Next checkbox, which is used to tell the system whether or not it should continue searching for a better price. If this checkbox is marked and another price exists with a better deal, AX will continue searching through other trade agreements to find that better deal. Once you've added all of the lines to your agreement journal, you can validate the journal to make sure that it has no errors. When you click the Validate button, you can select to validate all lines, just the selected lines, or validate lines with errors or warnings. This option is grayed out because I haven't validated this journal yet to find any lines that contain errors or warnings. I'll go ahead and validate all lines, and then click OK. You can see that my journal is OK and no errors or warnings are received. If an error is received, a symbol will appear in the Trade Agreement Validation or Dimension Validation columns. You can then use the Log button to review any errors that might have occurred. Next, I'll show you how we can mass create some sales prices by using the Select button. In this particular example, I manually typed the item and pricing information in. However, this could be a cumbersome process if you had hundreds or even thousands of items to set up prices for. So instead, we can use the Select button to enter some criteria of which items to be added to the journal. For this particular example, I just want to include sales prices. I can also filter for a certain currency, such as US dollars. I could also enter in a date range. So for example, if I wanted to pull in all of the pricing from last month so that I could update it for next month. In the Parties group, we can select which customers or vendors we want to pull in. If you select the option All, then all customers and/or vendors will be selected. By marking the Include Additional Relations checkbox, we're indicating that we'll even look for other types of relations that do not match the account code that you've selected here. On the bottom half of the form, you'll select which items you want to pull in. By selecting all items, it indicates that the system will choose all items. You could also choose a specific item or a group of items. For my example, I'm going to pull in everything and then click Select. It's letting me know that there are already lines in my journal and asking me if I want to delete them. Because this is a valid price that I just created, I don't want to delete it, so I'll click the No button. Now you can see my journal is populated with all of the pricing agreements for all of the items that matched my criteria. Next, I could use the Adjustment button to adjust these prices, or I could manually type new amounts, new dates, or change any information that I wanted to. If I didn't want to adjust certain prices, I can simply delete the lines from my journal. To perform a mass adjustment, you can use the Adjustment button and then click Adjustment. This will open a new dialog box where you can select what you want to adjust. In my case, I want to make an adjustment based off of the default sales price, and I want to apply a 2% increase. So in the percentage field, I type in 2. You can use the Select button here to filter this down. For example, if I didn't want to adjust every line in my journal, I could use the Select button to choose just the individual lines that I want to apply the adjustment to. I want my adjustment to apply across the board, so I will just click OK. I'm receiving an error message because one of the items in my journal does not have a conversion between the PL and liter units of measure. So I could find this item and delete it and retry the adjustment process. I'll go ahead and do that now. Select the current default sales price and apply the 2% again. Once you've applied the adjustments, the amount and currency column will be updated. When you're ready, you can go ahead and validate the journal and then post it. It's important to remember that the changes in your journal are not effective until you post the journal. Another new feature is available in AX 2012 R3 that allows you to export your pricing and agreement journal to Excel, where you can edit it. This is especially useful when your vendor provides pricing information. You can then copy the information into the Excel template and then update the information with any new values, and then by using the Office add-ins in Excel, you can click the Publish button to publish the values back into the journal inside of AX. It's important to note that when you use the Publish button in Excel, it does not post the journal, so you will still need to come back to the journal and use the Post button to make the changes effective. Make sure to join me in the next lesson, and we'll talk more about generic currency and smart rounding.